what is the game changer, if you want to say that word, which actually means that we're going to have a focus on the people that is living inside of the fragile states being able to do something about it. Because all of the things that's been said, all of the things that we've been doing, obviously for some reason is not reaching true enough because the situation isn't changed. And so why is that? And the idea of this day is putting a focus on this situation. So where is it that we should start, Charlotte?
Thank you. Very easy question. First of all, I think if the donor community, if the governments who do ODA would agree that we are here to focus on that, that would be one thing that would help. Because today ODA is being spent in other countries than those.
So what you're basically saying is that we are not committed enough from the donor perspective.
Exactly, we are not. Because there are other political reasons for being in other geographies. Because it's part of foreign policy and relationship building. So if you want relationship building to be the result of ODA, you're not going to be focusing on this. And this is an elephant in the room. Let's talk about it. The other thing is, don't ask the private sector to come when the problem is solved. I really think that, and there is some studies around this now, around how can we attract private sector to be part of building stability without any institutions there already and so on. And we should focus on that as well. And then I think, I mean, again, for Sweden, I think there are things that we can do. We can be demanding in that this is happening. We can also demonstrate leadership in the things that we do now when the SDGs are being taken into indicators. Do you know that we have to fight still for SRHR on the indicator level? We have SCB, the statistical agency. If they were not part of that work, we would still have politics on that objective, but they are fighting so hard to get the right indicators on the difficult issues. And I think, again, if we can translate that being very much focusing on goal 16, and in Sweden start to work together between different agencies, Folke Bernadotte and Sida and others, and really focus on these conflicts. But finally, but also understanding that we see this fragility in not what we call LDCs necessarily. We were focusing on low-income countries, and then crisis turned into Middle East, Northern Africa. So how did we do that then? How do we move to where fragility is? And I think that is still an issue. So it's not easy, but I think being committed to this part of the problem and should be more at the table.
Thank you for bringing out the elephant. Mats, how are we then making our political leaders actually not caring so much about relations, but actually caring more about results and daring to address those that is not really on the table? How come that we don't see the huge cost of the alternative that we're choosing?
I think that we have to prepare ourselves for a big political battle for multilateralism. It's not going to be easy, and what we thought that we had achieved in 2000 is simply not strong enough. And it's not going to be achieved by people like us who all share the commitment to multilateralism, jumping up and down. It has to, you know, no, this is serious.
Yeah, well.
It has to be fought in different places where rights are now being eroded, like media rights in Russia or in Turkey, or is there going to be a new IT wall between China and the rest of the world? You know, it's all interlinked. So, I mean, I know that this conference is about health and focusing on the fragility, but the security fragility that is still there has to be fought around the political parties who want to resolve these issues. I know that there are structural weaknesses in countries like Liberia and Sierra Leone and many other places that are domestic to the place. But to solve this, we need a strong multilateral system. Now, the weakness of the multilateral system today is related to the unwillingness to play by the rules, to pay the money. And I mean, if even a mature interregional space like the European Union now is fragmenting because of our domestic situation. Don't blame the migrants. It's fragmenting because of ourselves. Then can you imagine how difficult it is going to be to solve that? So I just want us to be very serious about this. It's not a health issue in order to reach the fragility issues. It's a much bigger political task, and everyone here who has a little piece of the solution via their angle into the multilateral has to also think about how to how to strengthen whatever angle it is that we are part of in terms of taking global responsibility. That's very tough.